Which type of chosen one are you? Discover your hidden sacred mission. What if I told you that right now, at this very moment, you're living out a destiny that was written in the stars long before you took your first breath? What if the struggles you face, the abilities you possess, and the path you walk aren't random at all, but part of a divine blueprint specifically designed for you? The question isn't whether you're chosen. The question is, which type of chosen one are you? And what sacred mission have you been called to fulfill? Stay with me, because what you're about to discover might finally explain why you've always felt different, why certain things come naturally to you while others struggle, and why deep down you've always known you were meant for something greater. Throughout the fabric of human existence, across every culture, every belief system, and every corner of this world, there exists a profound truth that has been whispered through the ages. Some souls are marked. Some individuals carry within them a spark of the divine, a calling that transcends the ordinary boundaries of human experience. These are the chosen ones. But here's what most people don't understand. Being chosen isn't a single, uniform experience. It's not a one-size-fits-all destiny. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, has crafted different types of chosen ones, each with their own unique gifts, their own sacred purpose, their own mission to fulfill in this grand tapestry of existence. You see, the concept of chosen ones isn't just some mystical fantasy or ancient mythology. It's a living, breathing reality that manifests in individuals who possess extraordinary qualities, abilities, and insights that set them apart from the masses. These aren't just people who think they're special. These are souls who have been hand-selected by forces beyond our comprehension to serve purposes that ripple through the fabric of reality itself. Each type of chosen one carries a distinct energetic signature, a unique resonance that aligns them with specific cosmic forces and divine purposes. Some are called to illuminate the path ahead, receiving visions and revelations that guide humanity through darkness. Others are summoned to heal the wounded, to mend what has been broken, to restore balance where chaos has taken root. Still others are destined to challenge, to rebel, to tear down corrupt structures and rebuild them anew. The roles are as diverse as the stars in the night sky, yet each one is absolutely essential to the greater cosmic plan. Whether leading, healing, fighting, teaching, or transforming, every chosen one contributes to the collective awakening of humanity, each playing their part in the divine orchestration of existence. Understanding which type of chosen one you are isn't just about satisfying curiosity. It's about unlocking the full potential of your sacred mission, about stepping into the power that has been dormant within you, waiting for the moment of recognition. It's about finally understanding why you've always felt like you don't quite fit in, why you perceive things others miss, why you're drawn to paths less traveled. The journey of a chosen one has never been easy. It demands courage that most cannot fathom, dedication that borders on obsession, and sacrifices that would break ordinary souls. But within these challenges lies the alchemy of transformation. The actions and decisions of chosen ones create ripples that extend far beyond their immediate surroundings, touching lives they may never meet, altering timelines in ways they may never fully comprehend. So let us venture deeper into this mystery. Let us explore the sacred archetypes of the chosen, and perhaps, as we journey through each type, you'll feel a stirring within you, a recognition, a remembering of who you truly are and what you came here to do. The first archetype we encounter is the prophet, a soul who walks between worlds, bridging the chasm between the divine realm and earthly existence. Prophets are not merely fortune-tellers or mystical entertainers. They are sacred vessels, channels through which higher consciousness flows, delivering messages that humanity desperately needs to hear, whether it's ready to listen or not. The prophet carries within them an extraordinary gift, a direct line of communication to the source of all knowledge, to the divine intelligence that orchestrates the cosmic dance. Through visions that pierce the veil of time, Through dreams that transcend ordinary reality, through sudden downloads of information that flood their consciousness, prophets receive truths that are meant to guide, warn, or awaken those who have ears to hear. But make no mistake, being a prophet is not a privilege. It's a burden of the highest order. These chosen ones must speak truths that society often refuses to accept, deliver warnings that people would rather ignore, share visions that challenge comfortable illusions. The path of the prophet is lined with rejection, ridicule, and persecution. Throughout history, prophets have been cast out, imprisoned, even executed for daring to speak what the divine has revealed to them. Yet despite the danger, despite the isolation, despite the crushing weight of carrying knowledge that others cannot yet comprehend, true prophets never waver from their mission. They are compelled by a force greater than fear, driven by an unwavering conviction that the messages they carry must be delivered, no matter the personal cost. Their loyalty is not to human approval, but to the higher power that speaks through them. The words of a prophet can shake the foundations of empires, can inspire revolutions of consciousness, can plant seeds that will bloom centuries after they've departed this world. They speak of moral truths that echo through eternity, of future events written in the Akashic records, of spiritual realities that most souls are blind to. Their messages comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable, challenging everyone who encounters them to evolve, to awaken, to remember their own divine nature. Now we turn to a very different archetype, one that many misunderstand: the hermit. In a world obsessed with connection, consumption, and constant noise, the hermit chosen one walks a path of sacred solitude, seeking wisdom in the silence that terrifies ordinary minds. Do not mistake the hermit for someone who simply dislikes people or fears social interaction. No, the hermit has made a conscious choice, a deliberate decision to step away from the chaos of collective consciousness in order to dive deep into the mysteries that can only be accessed in profound stillness. They have heard the call to journey inward, to explore the infinite landscapes of their own consciousness, to discover truths that cannot be found in books or learned from teachers. The hermit understands something that escapes most of humanity. Real wisdom, true understanding, genuine enlightenment cannot be found in the external world. It can only be discovered in the silent spaces within, in the gaps between thoughts, in the profound solitude where the small self dissolves and the greater self emerges. Their isolation is not an escape, but a quest. While others fill their lives with distractions, entertainment, and superficial connections, the hermit sits in the darkness of their own being, confronting shadows that others run from, asking questions that others fear to contemplate, dissolving illusions that others cling to for comfort. Yet here's what makes the hermit truly fascinating. Despite their preference for solitude, despite their withdrawal from society's constant chatter, they often become the most sought-after sources of wisdom and guidance. There's something about the clarity they've achieved, the depth they've reached, the insights they've gained that draws people to them like moths to a flame. When the hermit speaks, their words carry weight because they come from a place of genuine knowing, not intellectual understanding. They've walked through the fire of self-discovery. They've faced the demons in the depths. They've touched something real and profound that most people only read about in spiritual books. Their wisdom is earned, not borrowed, forged in the crucible of solitary contemplation and inner work. The hermit teaches us that sometimes the greatest service we can offer the world is to fully know ourselves first, to complete our own inner journey before attempting to guide others, to achieve our own enlightenment before claiming to illuminate the path for anyone else. Moving from the solitude of the hermit, we encounter the healer, a chosen one whose very presence seems to radiate a soothing energy, whose touch can mend what has been broken, whose compassion can reach into the deepest wounds and begin the sacred work of restoration. Healers are miracle workers in the truest sense. though their miracles often happen quietly, without fanfare or recognition. They possess an extraordinary gift that goes far beyond medical knowledge or therapeutic techniques. They can perceive the invisible wounds that others carry, sense the energetic blockages that create disease, feel the emotional traumas that manifest as physical pain. The gift of the healer operates on multiple dimensions simultaneously. Yes, they can address physical ailments, bringing relief to suffering bodies through their knowledge of medicine, herbs, energy work, or other healing modalities. But their true power lies deeper. They heal the emotional scars that people have carried for lifetimes, the spiritual wounds that keep souls trapped in cycles of pain, the energetic imbalances that create disharmony in every aspect of a person's life. Warriors undergo rigorous training, both physical and mental, preparing themselves for the battles they know are coming. They develop discipline that allows them to act decisively in moments of crisis when others freeze in fear. They cultivate strategic thinking that helps them outmaneuver opponents and overcome impossible odds. They forge themselves into instruments of divine justice, ready to be wielded in service of the greater good. What truly defines the warrior is their sense of duty and honor. They don't fight for personal gain or glory. They don't seek conflict for its own sake. They serve because service is their nature, protect because protection is their calling, sacrifice because they understand that some things are worth dying for. Their moral code is not abstract philosophy, but a living force that guides every decision, every action, every moment of their existence. The battles warriors fight aren't always physical. Some wage war against injustice in courtrooms, fighting for the rights of the oppressed. Others battle ignorance through education, illuminating minds trapped in darkness. Still others fight spiritual warfare, confronting demonic forces and negative entities that most people don't even believe exist. Regardless of the battlefield, all warriors share the same core purpose: to protect, to defend, to ensure that light prevails over darkness. The life of a warrior is hard, filled with danger, sacrifice, and often loneliness. They carry scars, both visible and invisible, from battles fought and prices paid. Yet they continue their sacred duty because they know that without warriors, the innocent would be defenseless, evil would go unchallenged, and darkness would consume everything. They are the guardians standing eternal watch, and humanity owes them a debt that can never be fully repaid. Finally, we arrive at the Seeker, a chosen one driven by an insatiable hunger for truth, for knowledge, for understanding. The Seeker's mission is to explore the mysteries of existence, to push the boundaries of human understanding, to discover what has never been discovered, and illuminate what has remained hidden in shadow. The Seeker is a perpetual student of life, approaching existence with wonder, curiosity, and an open mind that refuses to accept easy answers or comfortable lies. They question everything, assume nothing, investigate relentlessly. Their curiosity leads them down rabbit holes that others never notice, into territories that others fear to explore, toward truths that others actively avoid. This chosen one understands that knowledge is not meant to be hoarded, but shared, that wisdom grows when it's given away, that their discoveries serve not just personal enlightenment, but the collective evolution of all consciousness. The Seeker becomes a teacher, a guide, a light-bearer who illuminates paths for others to follow, making the mysterious accessible, the complex comprehensible, the hidden visible. What makes Seekers truly special is their radical open-mindedness. They don't cling to beliefs or defend positions. They're willing to completely overturn their understanding when presented with new evidence. They can hold multiple contradictory ideas simultaneously without discomfort, understanding that truth is often paradoxical, that reality contains multitudes. That certainty is the enemy of wisdom. The Seeker travels widely, studies deeply, experiences fully. They immerse themselves in different cultures, philosophies, and spiritual traditions, extracting gems of truth from each while remaining attached to none. They read voraciously, practice extensively, question constantly. Their entire life becomes a sacred quest for understanding. Every experience a potential lesson, every encounter a possible teacher. Through their tireless exploration, seekers often discover connections that others miss, patterns that reveal profound truths, keys that unlock doors humanity didn't even know existed. They stand at the frontier of human consciousness, pushing into unknown territories, mapping uncharted realms, bringing back treasures of insight and wisdom to share with those ready to receive them. So now you've journeyed through all the sacred archetypes of the Chosen Ones. As you listened, you likely felt resonance with certain types, recognition of your own gifts and challenges reflected in these descriptions. Perhaps you see yourself primarily as one type, or maybe you recognize traits from multiple archetypes within yourself. Both experiences are completely valid and common. The truth is, you are unique. While these archetypes provide a framework for understanding different types of chosen ones, your individual expression of your gifts is entirely your own. You might be a healer with the courage of a warrior, a prophet with the wisdom of a seeker, a rebel with the compassion of an empath soul. The combinations are as infinite as consciousness itself. What matters most is not which label fits you perfectly, but that you recognize the truth of your chosen nature. You are here for a reason. You possess gifts that the world desperately needs. You have a mission that only you can fulfill. The question now is, will you step fully into your power, embrace your calling, and dedicate yourself to the sacred work you came here to do? The path ahead won't be easy. Being chosen never is. You'll face challenges that test you to your core. Moments when you question everything. Periods when you feel alone and misunderstood. But remember this, you were chosen precisely because you have what it takes to succeed. The universe doesn't make mistakes. Your abilities, your experiences, your struggles, they've all been preparing you for this moment, for this mission, for this sacred purpose. Trust in your gifts. Honor your calling. Step boldly into the destiny that awaits you. The world is waiting for you to fully become who you were always meant to be. If this video has resonated with you, if you've recognized yourself as one of the chosen ones, then I invite you to subscribe to this channel and join our community of awakened souls. We're going even deeper into these mysteries, exploring advanced spiritual concepts, and supporting each other on this extraordinary journey. Hit that subscribe button now and become part of something greater than yourself. Share your insights in the comments below. Which type of chosen one resonates most strongly with you? What mission do you feel called to fulfill? Your experience might be exactly what someone else needs to hear to recognize their own path. Until we meet again, remember, you are chosen, you are powerful, and you are exactly where you need to be. Walk your path with courage, embrace your gifts with gratitude, and never forget the sacred mission that burns within your soul. The light of wisdom shines brightest in those brave enough to carry it into the darkness. Be that light. What sets healers apart is their profound empathy and boundless compassion. They don't just treat symptoms or apply techniques mechanically. They connect with the suffering of others on a soul level, feeling the pain as if it were their own, understanding the root causes that often lie hidden beneath the surface. This deep connection allows them to create a sacred space where true healing can occur, where people feel safe enough to release what they've been holding, to confront what they've been avoiding, to open to the possibility of wholeness. Healers possess vast knowledge accumulated through years of study, practice, and direct experience. They might be skilled in ancient herbal wisdom passed down through generations, energy healing techniques that work with the subtle body, therapeutic methods that address psychological wounds, or mystical practices that work directly with the soul. This diverse toolkit allows them to customize their approach for each unique individual, recognizing that every person's healing journey is different. But being a healer comes with its own challenges. The constant exposure to pain and suffering can be draining. The responsibility of holding space for others' healing can be overwhelming. Yet, true healers continue their sacred work because they understand that healing one person creates ripples that extend far beyond that individual, touching families, communities, and eventually the collective consciousness of humanity itself. If you've been resonating with what you're hearing, if you're starting to recognize yourself in these archetypes, then make sure you subscribe to this channel right now. We're going deep into spiritual mysteries that will help you understand your true purpose and unlock the full potential of your chosen path. Don't miss what's coming next. Let us now explore the empath soul, a chosen one who experiences reality in a way that most cannot imagine. The empath doesn't just understand emotions intellectually. They feel them, absorb them, become temporarily merged with the emotional states of everyone around them. It's both a profound gift and an overwhelming burden. Imagine walking into a room and instantly feeling the anxiety of the person in the corner, the grief of someone trying to hide their pain, the anger simmering beneath someone's polite smile, the joy radiating from a stranger across the space. For the empath soul, this isn't imagination. This is constant reality. They are walking emotional receptors, tuned to frequencies that most people are completely unaware of. This extraordinary sensitivity makes empath souls natural healers and caregivers. They know what someone needs before that person has even identified it themselves. They can sense when someone is struggling, even if they're putting on a brave face. They offer exactly the right words, the perfect gesture, the precise form of support needed in any given moment, because they're literally feeling what the other person is experiencing. The empath soul's mission is to serve as an emotional anchor for others, to provide the understanding and compassion that so many people desperately need but rarely receive. In a world where most people feel isolated and misunderstood, the empath creates connections that remind us we're not alone, that someone truly sees us, truly feels with us, truly understands the depths of our experience. However, this gift comes at a significant cost. The empath soul often struggles to distinguish between their own emotions and those they're absorbing from others. Where does their pain end and someone else's begin? This blurring of emotional boundaries can lead to severe overwhelm, where the empath feels crushed under the weight of collective suffering, unable to find relief or respite. The journey of the empath soul involves learning to protect their energy while still remaining open, to serve others without losing themselves, to feel deeply without being destroyed by what they feel. It's a delicate balance that requires constant awareness, strong boundaries, and regular practices to clear the emotional debris they accumulate simply by existing in this world. Now we turn to the endurer, a chosen one forged in the fires of adversity. Tempered by trials that would shatter lesser souls, the endurer is defined by one quality above all others: unbreakable resilience. No matter how many times life knocks them down, they rise again. No matter how impossible the obstacles appear, they find a way forward. The endurer doesn't view challenges as punishments or misfortunes. They see them as opportunities, as training grounds for developing strength, as tests that prove their worthiness for the mission they've been assigned. Where others see impossibility, the endurer sees a puzzle to solve. Where others quit, the endurer doubles down. Where others despair, the endurer finds renewed determination. This chosen one possesses a reservoir of inner strength that seems almost supernatural. It's not just physical endurance, though that may be part of it. It's a mental, emotional, and spiritual fortitude that allows them to keep functioning when everything within them screams to give up. They've developed an almost unshakable conviction that they will prevail, that their mission will be accomplished, that their purpose will be fulfilled no matter what stands in their way. The ambition of the endurer burns like an eternal flame. They set goals that others consider unrealistic, They commit to achievements that seem beyond reach. They refuse to settle for anything less than excellence. This isn't ego or arrogance. It's a bone-deep knowing that they were made for greatness, that they were chosen specifically because they have what it takes to accomplish what others cannot. Throughout their journey, endurers become living inspirations to everyone who witnesses their persistence. When others are ready to quit their own dreams, they remember the endurer who kept going. When others face their own dark nights of the soul, they draw strength from the example of someone who endured and emerged victorious. The endurer's greatest gift to the world might not be what they accomplish, but the hope and courage they inspire in others to keep fighting their own battles. But make no mistake, the path of the endurer is brutal. They face setbacks that would break most people, experience failures that test their faith to its limits, endure suffering that leaves permanent scars. Yet they continue, driven by something stronger than comfort, more powerful than fear, more enduring than pain itself. Their mission demands nothing less than everything they have to give. From the steadfast endurer, we now encounter a very different energy, the rebel. This chosen one exists to shake the foundations, to challenge every assumption, to question every authority, to tear down the structures that no longer serve humanity's evolution. The rebel is chaos in service of transformation, destruction in service of rebirth. Rebels are not contrarians for the sake of being difficult. They possess a piercing clarity that allows them to see through the illusions that most people accept without question. They recognize when systems have become corrupt, when traditions have become prisons, when beliefs have become chains, and they will not remain silent in the face of injustice, oppression, or stagnation. The rebel's primary commitment is to authenticity, to living in complete alignment with their truth regardless of social pressure, consequences, or the disapproval of others. They would rather stand alone in their integrity than compromise their values for acceptance. They would rather face persecution for speaking truth than enjoy comfort built on lies. This radical authenticity is both their greatest strength and their heaviest burden. Throughout history, rebels have been the catalysts for humanity's greatest leaps forward. They questioned slavery when it was the norm. They challenged monarchies and demanded democracy. They fought for women's rights, civil rights, human rights when the majority opposed them. They pushed boundaries in art, science, philosophy, spiritually, refusing to accept the limitations that others tried to impose. The journey of the rebel is one of constant self-discovery. In challenging external structures, they must also examine their own internal conditioning, their own inherited beliefs, their own unconscious programming. They become warriors of consciousness, fighting battles on multiple fronts simultaneously, dismantling illusions within and without. But the path of the rebel is dangerous. Those who benefit from the status quo don't appreciate being challenged. Systems resist change with tremendous force. The rebel often faces ostracism, punishment, vilification. They're called troublemakers, radicals, threats to order and stability. Yet they persist because they understand something fundamental. Without those willing to challenge and change the old, humanity would never evolve. The rebel is essential to collective awakening, even when the collective doesn't yet realize it. Now we come to the warrior, a chosen one whose mission is protection, whose calling is to stand between the innocent and those who would do them harm. The warrior possesses courage that most cannot comprehend, willing to face danger, to confront evil, to put themselves at risk so that others can live in safety. The warrior is not motivated by violence or aggression. Their strength comes from a place of love and honor, from a deep commitment to justice, from an unshakable moral code that demands they act when action is needed. They are the shield that protects the vulnerable, the sword that cuts through tyranny, the force that stands firm when darkness threatens to overwhelm the light.